Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I have all new Easter Dollar Tree DIYs to share with you. For this video, I wanted all of the crafts to have a really high-end feel to them, but they are all going to still be incredibly easy to recreate. These ended up being some of my most favorite Dollar Tree DIYs I have ever done for Easter. I really hope that you guys are going to enjoy them too. But before we get started, if you are new here, please do consider subscribing down below. And if you are already subscribed, thank you. And don't forget to turn on that notification bell so you're the first to find out when I release a new video. For our first DIY, I'm going to be using one of these glass vases from Dollar Tree. So you guys might remember in my last DIY video, I was telling you how excited I was to finally see these back on the Dollar Tree shelves after they had been missing for quite a few months. So it was a very welcome return. I'm also going to be using some of these wood-shaped bunny cutouts. I think that these are just so beautiful, so I knew I had to do a DIY that was really just going to put them front and center so you could see how nice they are. So all we're going to be doing is hot gluing these bunnies around this vase to create a really high-end looking vase that is super simple, but it's definitely going to be really eye-catching. I'm starting off by just hot gluing my first bunny rabbit to the bottom of the vase, and you want to make sure that it is against a flat surface when you are gluing it down. That way you get a nice even first row. And to glue these to the vase, I am using my Gorilla Glue hot glue sticks. You guys have probably heard me talk about these a million times, but they really are my favorite. I'll leave these ones linked down below. The reason I wanted to stick with these is because it does say that it can work for glass as well as wood, so I figured that this would be a nice strong hold. But if you are having any issues, you can also add a little bit of E6000 along with the hot glue. That way you get a really strong permanent hold, but you also get that quick hold from the hot glue. Each row is going to have 8 rabbits, and we will be doing 3 rows, so 2 packs of these little wood rabbits work out perfectly since we will be needing all 24 and you get 12 in a pack. So after I had my first row all glued down, I started my second row and I did stagger it a little bit just to kind of give it some more visual interest. For my third and final row, I did go back to the same pattern as my first row and the same placement. And the third row is going to peek up past the top of the glass a little bit. The ears are going to stick out, but I think that that gives it such a fun look. Now all you have to do is just add some flowers. I think that faux florals would be perfect in this, but I did already have some fresh hydrangeas, so I did want to add them in just to see how it looked, and I think it turned out so beautiful. It is such an easy and quick DIY, but trust me, it will look absolutely stunning as a centerpiece on your Easter table. Next, we are going to be transforming these carrot Easter eggs. So you get 3 in a pack, and you can just find these with all of the other Easter eggs. They have a bunch of fun shapes, but I thought that this one in particular would be a really fun DIY. So I'm also going to be using some twine and my hot glue gun again. So first, I just want to make sure that I hot glue the top of the carrot down to the base. That way it doesn't pop off at all while we are wrapping our carrot in twine. So this next part is really easy, but it does get a little bit tedious. By the third one, my fingers were definitely tired, so I did pop on a really fun movie just to try and make the time go by a little quicker. So you can see here, there's no trick. I'm just hot gluing this twine all the way around the carrot. You just want to work in small patches. I started right on the neck of the carrot and then I just worked my way down in levels. But you will see here, I did put on these little fingertip protectors. Dollar Tree does sell some. I think they have 2 in a pack. These ones are a little bit longer and you get 10 in a pack. They're from Amazon. I'll leave them linked down below just in case you can't find the Dollar Tree ones or if those ones are not the right size. This pack does come with a few different sizes to fit your fingers. And trust me, if you have been burned by hot glue in the past, you know just how valuable these can be because they really do save your fingers when you're doing crafts like this. You can just trim off the twine, but I wasn't sure at this point if I was going to be standing them up or if I was going to be laying them on their side in a bowl, so I did want to make sure to finish off the bottom, and to do that I just hot glued the twine kind of in a swirl pattern since the bottom is flat. And I was pretty surprised, but it did still stand up when I was all done. So this is all 3 eggs when they were completely covered in twine. And now we are going to be creating a new top. And to do this, I'm just going to be taking some cream colored felt. Dollar Tree does sell felt. I already had this one on hand, but I think that I got this one probably at Michael's or Joann Fabrics, but they do have a few different colors to choose from at Dollar Tree. And to make the top of the carrot, I just cut the felt into a rectangle, and then I just cut some strips from one end to the next. And I did leave the top intact. That way we would have a nice long strip to just hot glue right around the top of the carrot on that green part. I decided to go with this cream color because I did want to keep everything really neutral and high-end looking, but I do think that green felt would also be perfect for this craft. So now that we have a new top, you can see that green piece is still peeking out on top. So I do want to go ahead and just hot glue a little round piece of felt right over it just to cover it up. And now for the last step, I'm just going to be taking this carrot ribbon from Dollar Tree and cutting a piece that is long enough to tie around the top of the carrot here where it connects to the twine into a bow, just to kind of make it a little bit more seamless and add just a tiny pop of color. I'm just going to repeat those same steps for my other 2 carrots, and here is how everything turned out. I love these styled just like this in a row of 3, or you can even group a couple of them together with a bunny rabbit. And speaking of bunny rabbits, our next DIY is going to be a bunny rabbit centerpiece. So I'm going to be starting off with this wood-shaped bunny cutout from Dollar Tree. They bring this one back every year, and I think I usually come up with a new craft for it every year. The first thing I want to do though is just cover up that hole in the top ear from that piece of twine. We're not going to be hanging this up, so we don't want to be seeing that big hole. I'm just using some of this lightweight spackling from Dollar Tree just to fill it in. Then you want to let it dry completely, and then you can just sand it flat with a sanding block. I'm going to start with the back here and just make sure that it is nice and smooth just by going in some circular motions. I did notice that the back of this was a little rough also, so I'm going to go ahead and just smooth that down as well. Sometimes the wood items from Dollar Tree can be a little rough, so you might want to make sure to take a sanding block and just smooth it down before you start to paint. For the base of our centerpiece, I'm going to be using this oval wood cutout from the Crafter Square at Dollar Tree. And we're actually not going to be painting today. I wanted to try out something a little bit different. So this is home decor wax from Folk Art. You can find this on Amazon. I'll be sure to leave it linked down below. And I like to use this in place of stain. And since we do have wood items, I wanted to kind of go with a different look today and try to kind of have that stained look. That way you could see a little bit of the wood grain peeking out. I like to use this because I'm not great when it comes to regular wood stain. So this is just a little bit more crafter friendly if you don't wood stain a lot. And I do have gloves on here, so if you're going to be doing this at home, just be sure to put some gloves on. And I'm working on a piece of parchment paper just to keep my crafting mat nice and clean. But there is no smell whatsoever with this. It kind of goes on like a paint. You can just put it on your wood surface and take a paper towel and just kind of buff it in and wipe off any excess. Then I just let it dry completely for a few hours. It says you can leave it overnight, but mine was honestly dry in about 3 or 4 hours. So now I'm going to start attaching my bunny to my base. And to do that, I'm going to be using these little tumbling tower blocks from Dollar Tree. I didn't stain these only because we're not going to be seeing them in the final project. I'm going to be using 2 of the blocks, and what I'm going to do is just hot glue 1 to each side of the bunny rabbit on his back feet. And that is just going to be giving us a larger area to add some glue to add to our base. Without adding these side pieces, the bunny itself is pretty thin and it would be hard to basically get it to stand upright on our wood base without toppling over. And now is the really fun part. We get to decorate the base of our bunny. The first thing I want to do is just put down some of this Spanish moss. And I did pick this up at Dollar Tree, and I can usually find it in their floral department. department. So I'm just going to be attaching it to the base with some hot glue. So I put some on the front and then I added some to the back as well. Craft is so customizable. You could just skip this dark wood stain and paint it instead. I think a bright white would look beautiful, or maybe even some pastel colors. I think lilac would be a really nice one as well. I'm going to be adding in some faux florals on top of the moss, and I am going to use my wire cutters just to easily trim down all of those flowers and make them a little bit easier to add into the moss. For these purple flowers here, they did have a long enough stem that I could kind of just nestle them in, but for my green leaves, I did end up having to hot glue them on top of the moss. I did pick up 2 faux floral picks, but I ended up just using one of them. And I put all the purple flowers in the front, and in the back I just added some of the green leaves. And now for the final step, I'm going to be taking this pack of plastic pastel eggs from Dollar Tree and just adding them all around. So in the front here, I kept it a little bit lighter. I added the pink, purple, and white egg, and to attach them, I'm just using hot glue again. And in the back, I put the teal, blue, and yellow. I was actually thinking about picking up a second pack and just sticking with those front colors, since I do think that they match a little bit better with the flowers. But here is how it turned out. I think that this craft would be great as a centerpiece on a table. When I saw these bunny Easter eggs at Dollar Tree, I knew we had to come up with a fun DIY for them. The shape is great. I don't love the color so much, but that is okay. It is an easy fix. One of the things I really liked about this item was that the feet on the bottom allow it to stand up all on its own. And we are going to be transforming these with some spray paint. It really is one of the easiest ways to really transform an item, and it is amazing what one coat of paint can do. So for these, they are 2 pieces because they are an Easter egg. So before you paint them, you might want to hot glue the 2 pieces together. I didn't because I figured the paint would be enough just to keep them together, and I didn't have any issues, but you might want to glue them beforehand just to make sure. And this is the spray paint I'm going to be using. I will leave this one linked down below. It has a beautiful satin finish to it that really just adds to the high-end look. And it is a bit of an off-white color, so it has a really nice warm tone to it. So next, we just have to cover up that line in the middle of our rabbit. And I am going to be using some twine to cover that up. You can absolutely use ribbon as well, but I figured twine would kind of go with the look of all of our other crafts, and it would keep that neutral look intact. So I'm just holding a piece of twine in the front of the bunny, and then I'm going to wrap it around 3 times and then just cut it and tie it into a bow. I did want to mention that when I was spray painting the eggs, I did work in really light coats. So instead of just doing 1 big coat, I did about 3, I would say, but it's only because I would just spray paint a really light coat first, let it dry about 20 or 30 minutes, and then do another coat on top, just to make sure the paint looked nice and even. So now we're going to be adding a tail. And Dollar Tree actually had this pom-pom kit where you can make little bunny rabbits, but they had a ton of different sizes of pom-poms in the kit that I thought would be perfect for our bunny here. They do also sell those large pom-pom tails at Dollar Tree, but those are a little bit too large for this craft. And I couldn't decide at first which one of these to use. There's a small, medium, and large in this pack, and I was going to go with a really big one, but I figured that the medium tail would be best. So that's what this one is here, and to attach it to our bunny, I'm just using some hot glue. And here is how they turned out. This one is just so sweet. I love the look of the bunny. I think the tail is so cute, but it definitely has that neutral Easter feel to it. Next, we have a really easy 2-minute DIY. It's actually more of just a way to style these plush carrots from Dollar Tree. So if you guys did pick these up, I have a really simple way to display them and a free printable. So I picked up this small galvanized bucket from Dollar Tree in their floral department, but you don't need this one. Any small galvanized bucket would do, or even one of their plastic buckets. and I did create this free printable. So I'm going to leave my blog link down below. This is my blog here. When you click on that link, it's going to bring you right here to this article. All you want to do is just scroll all the way down to the bottom where it says free printable, and you're going to have two options. So this is the first one here. It says Cottontail Farms, and it has the carrots with the fresh carrot sign underneath. And then the second one you can click on just says Carrot Patch Open Daily. You can just pick out your favorite one and print it out. I'm going to be going with the Cottontail Farms one here, and I did print this out on cardstock. That way it's just a little bit thicker and easier to work with. And I'm going to be attaching it to my bucket with this carrot ribbon from Dollar Tree. I just think it's really cute and it fits in perfectly with our theme. So I'm going to be going with the top size here, that is the medium one. So it goes medium, large, and small, and medium seems to fit best for this size bucket here. Then I just took my ribbon and measured it around my bucket just to make sure it was going to be long enough before I cut it. And to attach it, I'm just going to be using hot glue. But again, I did print this out on cardstock, so it can hold up to hot glue. But if you use regular printer paper, I would just use a glue stick. And now I'm just going to tie the ribbon around my bucket. It's a really easy way to decorate a bucket, and that way if you want to use it for something else, you can just take the ribbon off and it doesn't ruin the bucket at all for a future DIY. And now you can just add your carrots to the top. This bucket can fit 6 carrots, but 5 works really well. And here is how it turned out. It's just a really fun and easy way to display these beautiful carrots that Dollar Tree had this year. And that is everything for today. I really hope that you guys enjoyed these DIYs. You will have to let me know which one was your favorite. I think mine definitely has to be the vase. I just really love that tiny bunny with the bunny tail. I think it is just so precious. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you are not yet subscribed, you can subscribe to my channel by just clicking my picture right here. And be sure to come back soon because I am planning more Easter DIY videos. Thank you for watching.